looking forward to being back home in the Dome against a good football team with Pittsburgh coming in here. Old rivalry that's been around for a long time. In the modern era, since '55, it's about even. So it's neat to, it's neat to bring Pittsburgh into the Dome. And I know we're excited to get back on the football field in front of our fans. With that, questions?
Mark, Coach, with Eric's tendency to run lately and the Pitt pass rush that's number one in the ACC, how concerned are you about Eric's health and activity?
I know it's been a big topic. We're trying to teach him to get rid of the ball in situations. With that being said, also let him play to his strength. So there's a fine line there. Just trying to win the next game, but teach a young kid how to take care of himself as well.
Nico and Tad. Coach.
Hey, Nico.
I know you talked about this a little bit in the teleconference of the game, but I know it's all business, but it's got to be a bit neat for you to go against Coach Narduzzi and all that. Just speak to that aspect of going against your friend Saturday.
Sure. Yeah. He's, we've coached together, raised our children together, our wives. I've run together for years, so it is neat. It'll be neat. More than anything, reflecting on, just getting into the business for the same reasons. Both coaches' sons. Coach Narduzzi's dad was a great football coach, God rest his soul. At Youngstown State and throughout his career moving up the ladder. We both lost our fathers at a fairly young age. So there's just so many things that connect us. One thing that connects us that's probably the most unique is just the fact that we love football and what it can do for young people and the effect it can have on a young man's life. So more than anything, just being out there with an old friend before the game will be kind of cool. And then once they put the ball down and blow the whistle, we both want to kick each other's butt. Simple as that. And, good, healthy competition.
Nico took that question.
Sorry, Coach. Yeah, so much fun. Coach, what do you see as your biggest challenge this week?
Well, I think Boyd's a great football player, one of the best wide receivers in the nation. Has all-purpose yards, both offensively and in the punt return and kickoff return. I think that'll be a big challenge for us defensively. I think Coach Chaney does a great job on the offensive side of the ball, changing things up. So we have to do a good job being on point with our communication defensively. Obviously, our third down defense. When I look back at the season, the drives that have been extended because we haven't made a play when we miss a tackle at 8 yards and they needed 9 yards. So I think the simplicity of finishing the fundamentals in those situations will be huge. On the offensive side of the ball, going against an aggressive defense, they like to do a lot of the things that we like to do. So we kind of have a feel for who they are and what they'll be, but they've been very effective with it. They've got some good football players that have been around for a long time playing them. Going back, I think Coach Chris did a nice job building the foundation, and Coach Narduzzi's done a great job taking it forward. So those will be some of our biggest challenges.
I know you don't pay
Nate.
a ton of attention to the programs around the country, but Ryan Nassib's brother is really putting together a
He
pretty
sure is.
remarkable year. I'm wondering if you took a hard look at him at high school.
We did. He came to camp, and we were probably just like Penn State. We felt like he was a little ways away from developing. He was kind of a long-bodied guy still growing into his body. Our numbers weren't in a position to pass an offer to him, so we tried to get him to walk on, and he chose Penn State. And I'm just happy for him. The Nassib family, they're the best, and I'm just happy for the young man. He's doing a great job over there.
Mark? Coach, halfway through the season, can you give us any kind of progress report?
Well, I think, obviously we're sitting at 500. We'd like to be, a couple games above that. I think we had a couple opportunities to do so, especially in the last two contests there. Pleased with the progress of the youth, but on the same side of the table, they need to understand they're not young anymore, and we got we got to ramp some things up and finish things, and it points more towards our the fundamental side of things more than anything else. I'm excited about the progress our kids have made, our young men have made. I think Dungy's playing good football. I think our quarterback production's been good, with the efficiency rating of 167. That's really good, as you guys know. And the thing that is most impressive, Mike and I were talking about it earlier, is he's got a really high efficiency rating, but his yards per completion is huge. I mean, that's really high. When you look at being 167 in passing efficiency and then almost 14 yards per completion, those are real throws. It's not like some of these offenses that say he's got a high completion percentage, and then you look at him and 20% of them are behind the line of scrimmage. Our offense has done a nice job getting chunk plays, which is huge. I think the biggest thing is defensively we need to get off the field. We need to do a better job getting off the field. I've liked the schemes. I've liked the calls. I just don't think we're finishing as well as we need to, and the kids know that. So that's kind of the grade report there. I think in the kicking game, we've done a good job. I think we've improved in our coverage teams. You take the one against LSU away, and we're one of the better covered teams in the country with regards to the punt. I like the way Riley's been kicking the ball. Missed a couple field goals. We got to clean that up with Cole. But for the most part, I think the kicking game has made good improvements. And then finishing with the controllable side of things that we always look at, I've been real pleased with the penalties, or the lack thereof penalties, if you will. I think we're at about 4.5 per game. I got it in here somewhere. 18th in the nation in penalty yards, which is a great improvement. So good things. We just had a couple the last 2 weeks that came at untimely, points in the game that hurt us. So all in all, I knew we'd be a young team. I was hoping we can win a couple of those games that were going to be close. We came up short, especially last week in South Florida. If not for moving the ball forward with a couple weird plays, a couple penalty plays, and so I think we're close, but close doesn't get it done. That kind of be my quick synopsis of things right now.
Time for 2 more questions, Steven.
Plays per game, you guys have one of the lowest totals. Is any of that intentional with kind of a young team?
No, we need to get off the field on defense, and then we'll have more plays. It's really simple. If you look at the one thing that jumps out at me is when you look at the drive chart. I'm real big into the drive charts, and there's a lot of drives that are 11, 12, 14. We had a 19-play drive, and then you go back and you cut those up and you say, let's look at all the first downs and then the third downs. You know what I mean? And our first down defense has actually been pretty good. Our third down defense has been the biggest weakness. When you break it down, all the different categories and then the field zones, and you got a young team that needs to learn how to learn to get off the field a little bit better, and that'll help get the ball back in the offense's hands. When you flip it, last year it was kind of the opposite with veteran defense and with all the things that went down injury-wise on offense. The defense was actually giving the offense the ball back a bunch. We just couldn't move the chain. So it's you kind of look at it from both sides of the fence. So let's get him the ball.
Final question for Coach. Mark? Let's go to Matt.
We can get both of you guys. It's fine.
Talking to some of the guys, they say Pitt's really kind of a downhill running team. How much do they differ from Virginia, who maybe likes to spread the width of the field a little bit more?
They're different. They will use Boyd in similar fashions. Excuse me. I was really proud of myself. I was doing so good. You should see the Kleenex I got under here ready to go. They are different in that they run some big personnel and run some power and counter football where they come right at you. They'll also drop the formations down where you have condensed, compact situations and try to slither Boyd through for some deep balls. So there's actually quite a few differences in the two scheme-wise. And I think it was Mark.
Last question, Mark. Yeah, Coach, I was just going to ask, considering the triple overtime, coming off a tough loss, it's Pitt, it's a big rival in
We want to win every week, Mark. You know, we don't reflect back as much as maybe, you know, as you suggest there. It's just more like, let's go win the next game. You know what I mean? But we love to win this football game. We love to win every game in front of us. Came up short, great learning situation. We got to try to teach, you know, a young defense not to feel sorry for themselves and not to pout around, go out there and attack and play the game for the love of the game and for each other. That's more the focus. And with that, you know, it'll build into itself, you know, each game trying to win. But I don't think there's a big difference between wanting to win this game compared to LSU, compared to Rhode Island, or compared to the next one coming up for these kids. It's just, hey, we want to get better and find a way to get a victory for each other and for the program.